Hello, dear ones, it's Hannah. So, a couple weeks ago, I had a Beyond Quantum Healing swap session with my dear friend and fellow practitioner Jen Fisher in California. And at the very end of my session, Dolores Cannon came through, and we were both so excited and honored to get to talk to her. Neither Jen nor I knew a lot of her before this, and so we had so much fun asking her a bunch of questions. So I'm going to divide this section into two different videos, and in this video this week, we asked her about the current energies that the collective of human consciousness is going through right now, like where we are as a collective. We asked about the new Earth versus the physical Earth, and really, what's the deal? Like, how do we actually get to the new Earth, and what's that about? We asked her and learned more about grounding and the importance of grounding for expansion and what's actually going on and how to do it. And then we asked her about the energy time frame that we're in right now. We did ask specifically about 1212 to 1221, but it is actually a more expanded time that we're still shifting through right now. So enjoy.
Does she have any thing to say about the current energies, or the shifts taking place, or the new Earth, or raising consciousness, or any of that?
She says, ask one question at a time, dear.
Okay, I'm sorry. What can you tell us about the current situation, or the current, where we are in the shift currently?
Human consciousness is at an all-time high, she says. And you guys are doing a great job helping people to wake up. This work is so important in the world. And I'm just so tickled to see how many people are using it and enjoying it. The human collective is really just past their tipping point, which she says she knows seems slow to us, but really from the more cosmic perspective, it's all going by in such a flash. It's just in the embodied third density or third dimension, things feel really drawn out because time seems so slow here, but it's all going to happen in such a flash, and we will definitely get to see this in our lifetimes, and we can take heart in that, she says. I would like to know how do we effectively access the new Earth? So she's saying the new Earth is a different plane of consciousness. It's an Earth you can access in your mind at this time and in your travel states, such as, journey states, meditative states. For those that are firmly rooted in the third dimensional reality, they cannot yet access the new Earth. Mm-hmm. And you may have noticed that as your own consciousness expands, you access it more easily and more freely. And to not be limited by my understanding of the physical 3D Earth being quote unquote real. She's using finger quotes, air quotes. Because what you do in your consciousness, where you go in your consciousness, is just as much real as what you experience in the 3D realm or life, and that this is actually part of a big facet of where I as a human, or where humans in general, are having a hard time making the connection, because we, science is king, and we put so much emphasis on, I have to see it to believe it, but like in the physical world, whereas so much of existence actually is happening in the quantum field, in the quantum realms, and that they're every bit as real. We just are so accustomed to seeing, feeling, touching that level of experience being what actually exists, and in our head is almost like we feel like it's something we make up or something that's fake, and it's actually not. There is imagination, which is a form of creativity, and then there is actually journeying to other places to gain wisdom and information and connection and understanding and growth and expansion, and those are things that we do every day without realizing it in our sleep states and meditative states, and of course sometimes we do realize it, but she's saying that really the answer is that we need to make this paradigm shift between what we're viewing as real and reality, and the credit that we're giving to things based on whether they're embodied in the physical or not, because there's so much more that exists that's not embodied in the physical, to learn and expand from and grow from. And right now the new earth fits into that category largely, and that once we're able to split, and this is something that my mind is having a hard time grasping, but once we're able to split from the need to experience things in a physical way for them to be real, then we'll be able to access the new earth in a physical way more.
Can she tell me, okay, because they talk about grounding being very important, but yet you're envisioning or wanting to journey to new earth. To me, that seems counter, productive.
She's showing me that people that are like really still very much 3D, that the earth is just, a ball of rock. But she said when you actually ground, to the earth in a physical way, but you're envisioning your energetic roots going down into the earth, connecting with it, the energy from the earth coming back up into you. We're actually spiritually grounding to the earth in her essence. Does that make sense? So it's not our physical body physically grounding to the physical earth.
We're not
like
ourselves.
Right, we're grounding in a much more expansive way to what actually exists as the earth, quote unquote, and from that place we are unlimited. We're actually connecting in a deeper way to existence and to this soul expansiveness, if that makes sense. So there's that is a way into that realm, if you will.
Okay. The reason why I asked is because I recently watched the Earthing movie, and I was just wondering about that. Because since I've been grounding, I feel more present in this reality and less present in the other reality. And so I was concerned that I was doing the wrong thing.
She says you're not doing the wrong thing, that this is just right, that there's much to be gained from being in the present moment, and that this is actually bringing you into a deeper state of connection with yourself, and that it's not that you can't connect to all those other realities, but it's that you need this stronger sense of connection to the isness of what is in this existence right now as a, well, she's saying grounding step, but like you're like coming to a place of centeredness and home, which you do before you expand out, if that makes sense. So like it gives you a center to come back to rather than just being in this expansive, floaty state all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it helps you anchor that into your beingness, which is an essential component to the growth itself.
Yeah, because I'm used to being the daydreamer that's projecting somewhere else and not used to being fully present here. So it feels much different. But
yeah, and part of that growth and work is to anchor that here because you have the expanded consciousness down. But to bring that into this present reality is what helps to really expand the human collective on a much deeper level. If that makes sense to you.
I understand. So is there anything that she can share with us from her perspective on the 1212 and 1221 and the different energies coming in right now?
She says, whatever gets you excited, go with it. Like the point is to sort of get off your duff and do things. Like, interact with it, embrace it, grow with it, and it's really a window of opportunity for all of us to embrace. And so she's just being very encouraging that we do that.
Well, I just see so many people setting up, let's say, expectations, or they have expectations like, oh my gosh, 1212 is going to come and something big is going to happen. And then 1212 comes and they don't see some big shift or experience some, higher level of consciousness. And then they get either disappointed or,
She says that every time that happens, it's giving them a chance to release their own limiting beliefs. Every experience that happens that's disappointing, say,
mm-hmm.
it's showing you something inside of yourself that isn't aligned with the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's giving you a chance, I don't know, it's a mirror, so to speak. It's giving you a chance to look at, well, what is it that is inside of me that is like allowing that to come and change my world, and now I'm disappointed. Like, what is it that I can release or heal or grow through in order to come into a more aligned state of being so that my happiness isn't subject to the whim of every little thing that happens to me, but it's coming from my own state of trust inside of me.
Is there a component of like believing is seeing as opposed to seeing is believing?
There is. That is sort of she's saying that's a larger human collective learning that we're all working on. Like it's a common theme among the human collective that we're working on learning how to manifest what we want and how to embody the life we want before we see the physical evidence of it.
So I hope you got as much out of that as Jen and I did. I plan to post the next half of it, of what came through from Dolores, next week, so be on the lookout. My name is Hannah Fogg. I practice quantum healing from Maine in the United States, and I get to see people all over the world. I love my job so much. I'm going to post my website below, and please feel free to reach out anytime if you have any interest in having a session for yourself or learning more. I would love to hear from you. All right, take care.